Hey guys, welcome back. It's Danny Elliott. Thank you for watching me today. So I got this story from Canada. We got a fake mortgage broker up in British Columbia, and we got 25 realtors who have now lost their real estate license as a result. The staggering reach of shadow mortgage broker revealed as BC real estate agents lose their licenses and face sanctions for dealing with this poser named Jay Kanth Chaudhary. And this article is by Jason Proctor. Jay Kanth Chaudhary told the Cullen Commission he developed a word of mouth reputation as someone who could arrange mortgages for people who could afford to make payments but might not meet a lender's qualifications. Kind of sounds like what's going on in the United States right now, right, guys? The subprime 2.0 unfolding with FHA mortgages. 60% or more of people getting an FHA loan. It doesn't really matter if they can pay back the loan, guys. It doesn't matter if they have a debt to income ratio above 43 because we have no standards anymore in the United States. But everybody gets financed and nobody really seems to care if anybody's able to pay back the lender. BC's financial regulator has canceled the license of real estate agents who use the services of the so-called shadow broker to buy houses using fake financial statements. Millionaire Golshani is one of 3 real estate agents stripped of their licenses in recent weeks for dealing with Jay Chaudhary, a man who earned millions acting in an unregistered capacity. Earning millions of dollars, he's an unregistered broker. He secured mortgages for unqualified home buyers with altered tax documents and bank statements. Millionaire Golshani was fined $75,000, according to the British Columbia Financial Services Authority. Sina Sadat Mirzadeh and Homian Haji Karimlu have also been fined tens of thousands of dollars as part of the 5 most recent orders to emerge from a multi-year investigation into more than 24 industry professionals. This stretches back to 2019. After years of referring to Chaudhary and its decisions as individual one, the regulator also publicly linked him to 19 of its completed files for the first time in years as part of a change in policy to increase transparency. And more files are still under investigation. BCFSA Director of Investigations Rahil Humian told CBC the scope of Chaudhary's activities was staggering, as was the number of licensed mortgage brokers and real estate agents who had no ethical and professional standards and violated the codes to help him. Like Golshani, Karimlu referred clients to Chaudhary in addition to using the shadow broker's services for his own property purchases and deals secured with tax documents reflecting income multiple times above Karimlu's actual earnings. Kind of like we had the liar loans back in the last financial crisis. Remember, guys? We had ninja loans, no income, no job and assets, and they just got financed. And, they got into a house because once you get your foot in the door, you could just stop paying the mortgage and the federal government doesn't care. No one's ever going to foreclose on you. So all you really need to do is file a bunch of fake documents and the lender will just get you into a nice mortgage and then they sell the mortgage right out the back door. And we don't like to have foreclosures, guys, because if we got foreclosures, it's bad for politics, bad for people that were in office during those times. We got to hang in there and be tough during these times. Remember hearing that almost every single day in the mainstream media as we were issuing loan modifications, as we were just allowing people to go into forbearance. They could stay in their home as long as they wanted. People in California didn't have to pay their rent for 4 years because there were moratoriums, right? People can live in the house for 5 years, maybe decades. Who knows, guys? They're basically taking over all of the private property from the income property owners, and it's just going to be owned by the government pretty soon because if landlords can't collect their rent, what happens, right? The government takes everything over. According to a consent order, Mirzadeh got a mortgage in 2017 using fraudulent tax documents created by Chaudhary, and an application submitted by Mana Irfani, Chaudhary's wife, a former mortgage broker who herself was banned from the profession for life in 2020, but that didn't stop her from becoming a fake mortgage broker and working for her fake mortgage broker husband. Melania Golshani is one of 3 real estate agents stripped of their licenses in recent weeks for their dealings with Chaudhary. She used his services to buy a house using fake financial statements a year ago after declaring a negative annual income of $459. Chaudhary spoke firsthand about his black market business in 2021 at a public inquiry tasked with investigating money laundering in British Columbia, delivering what the Cullen Commission report described as a remarkably forthright piece of testimony. He worked as an accountant and also was a licensed realtor before registering as a mortgage broker in January of 2007, just in time for the housing crash. There was a lot of shady financial dealings going on in 2005, 2006, and 2007, and early 2008. His registration was suspended in October 2008 after a coworker reported that he had been arranging financing using altered documents. Chaudhary never applied for reinstatement. Chaudhary told the Cullen Commission that he developed a word-of-mouth reputation. Yeah, hey, if you can't get financed, I know a guy. I can hook you right up. He's a really great guy. His wife does it too. You can get right in. You don't need to worry. You don't even need to have any income. You can have negative income. You could just go with a fake mortgage broker and a fake real estate agent, and you'll be all set. He said he helped clients avoid the dangerous world of private lenders by using the services of 4 registered mortgage brokers and about 20 real estate agents who referred clients. And Chaudhary appeared before a public inquiry into money laundering in British Columbia. He admitted to altering documents to help hundreds of clients get mortgages that they weren't qualified for. He claimed none of his clients ever defaulted on a loan. None of the banks who gave them money were ever hurt. And a booming British Columbia real estate market meant he always had work. Of course. He is estimated to have secured more than $500 million worth of financing. There will always be a need for individuals like us and what we did. And because the demand itself is there, the demand comes from the borrowers themselves. The demand comes from people who want a house and don't fit the traditional guidelines. You don't need guidelines. You just need to be able to get the home buyer into more debt, and you need to make sure that they're paying bank interest. That's the only thing that ever matters in 2025. We just need to get more people financed. It doesn't matter if they qualify for the mortgage. It doesn't matter if they can afford the house. They just need to get into a loan and pay the bank interest for as long as they possibly can, until they can't pay anymore, until all of their money is sucked completely dry from their bank account. And then at some point in the future, maybe we'll have some foreclosures. Maybe we'll wash the system out. Maybe the bubble will burst. Or maybe we'll just keep on blowing it up. We'll come up with some new lending scheme. We'll come up with a new temporary government solution so we can give some people some money, so we can get them into more houses they can't afford. And we'll just keep this thing going as long as we possibly can, because that's how we do it in the United States and in Canada, obviously, too. Ballard would submit mortgage applications to lenders as though prepared by himself. He never met with the borrowers on these files. The Cullen Commission report said Chaudhary's lawyers said he was subject to the scrutiny of the Canada Revenue Agency, but he does not appear to have faced any consequences for his actions. The bulk of the discipline had been resolved through consent orders, but at least one real estate agent is appealing her license cancellation. This illustrates the money laundering risk that can arise when an unscrupulous actor engages in mortgage brokering, registered or unregistered. His lawyer told the commission that Chaudhary was subject to the scrutiny of the Canada Revenue Agency, but he doesn't appear to have faced any other legal consequences. Humian rejected the idea that no one was hurt by Chaudhary, pointing to the damage done to the reputation of the real estate industry, as if he had any reputation left at all, and risk to both lenders and individual consumers. And his wife was also banned from the industry in the $500 million case. The BC Financial Services Authority made referrals to police from Chaudhary-related files early and often. And a representative for the regulator told the Cullen Commission he brought the Chaudhary file to the leadership of the RCMP's E-Division, but the RCMP declined to take on that matter. To his recollection, the reason given was that the matter did not fall within their mandate. Do the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have any mandate to enforce any laws whatsoever in Canada? I'm just asking the question. I mean, I see all this shady stuff going on. I see the houses being burned down. The developers are collecting the insurance money. The insurance companies don't care. They're just cutting checks. The police are all standing around. The fire department's watching while their fire truck gets burned down, and nobody does anything about it. Everybody's just making money. And meanwhile, homeowners are facing the highest housing prices and the highest interest rates of all time. And nobody seems to know what's going on, and nobody seems to care. It just all continues. But I thought you guys would think this is an interesting story today. I certainly did. These are all purportedly real estate professionals up in Canada. And, they're just running around writing loans, and they're just collecting interest payments and making millions of dollars. And, all these real estate agents are in on the scam. They're collecting commissions, and the police are just standing around. They don't care. They turn their heads and they pretend everything's fine. The government just wants the real estate to go up, because the more the price goes up, the more the property taxes go up, the more revenue the Canadian government collects from average homeowners. And people just keep on slipping further and further into poverty in the West. And nobody seems to care. Everything just goes on. It's business as usual, and everything's fine. So, I thought you guys would think the story was interesting. And if you like this content, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Danny Elliott.